Welcome back to Prof E Plays. I'm Prof E, and I need a haircut. Well, this episode is a little bit different. I'm just going to do character creation because I just found out about this game called Heroes of Adventure. It is a complete role-playing game, so it has like kind of the traditional three books you might get with, say, the most popular role-playing game, a fantasy role-playing game. So there's a player's handbook, which is about 78 pages, I believe, an over 400-page keeper's guide, I believe is what they call it, and then a monster compendium as well. All available for free. Discontinuous. Okay. Yeah, sometimes kids come upstairs when they're supposed to be in bed. In any case, um, so I'm going to create a character in this episode for Heroes of Adventure. I probably will never use this character, but everything is play, as a geek gamer says. So I just wanted to kind of get a feel for it. So I figured, yeah, we can do this together. Right, so hero creation is all described in the hero's book, the player's guide, or whatever they call it. I'm going to just do it randomly. So they have a bunch of random tables that I can pull from, so I'm going to do that. Right, so first thing I need to do is determine ancestry. So I'm just going to roll here. It's mostly a human world, and 4 would indicate that I am a human. So I'll just put human here. Now I can get more precise with that, and actually am supposed to, right? So ancestry type says 5, that make me a northerner. So I'm a human northerner. Which, I mean, I suppose that's northerner, yes. Which I suppose that's true enough in real life. Now I need to determine my background. My background is a D100 roll. Now each of these elements will have something to do. So 84, my background, I was apparently a scribe. Okay, scribe. There we go. Next then, I need to determine my class package. So I'll roll. Oh wait, class first and then class package. Okay. Oh, gotcha. Okay, 'cause these are kind of two pieces. Okay, so first the class. Got interrupted again, but while he was in the kitchen getting stuff, um, I went ahead and did some more rolling. Background as a scribe. I rolled class. Class is a knight, so this is a scribe turned knight. Specifically, the package that I'm going to be using is paladin, right? So I think these are all of the elements that come into the character, but then I need to go into the specifics of the elements, and they will tell me more about what I have. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and check. So human. So according to this, a human. Um, as a northerner, so it says you lived in the cool highland region known as the Northern Territories. The northerners are a cautious people, respectful of their dwarven neighbors. Gain the command and fortitude skills. So command, the way that the skills work here, right? It's an interesting system, right? In that it's very unlike the most popular role-playing game, and this is a skill-based game now, but it is still D20 based. So you do roll your D20, and that tells you like whether you succeed or fail based on target numbers, that kind of thing. But you also have skills, and the skills add a bonus die, right? So in this case, right, and the bonus die, it starts out, the lowest level is a D4, then you get a D6, D8, D10, up to a D12 max, right? So this says I would gain command. A command, then I would have a D4 here, and fortitude. So then any activities that involve those, I would have a D4 for as well. Now, also as a human being, that does determine some of my base attributes. I guess we can call them attributes. I'm not quite clear on the terminology yet, right? So the base attributes here is what I'm going to call them. Those would be health, inspiration, and defense. All right, so taking a look at that, health, I got 5. This is all based on what your ancestry is. Inspiration is 4, right? And then defense is 8. It also says I'm size medium and I know common as a language. As an ability, it says humans may choose an additional class ability at creation. So I get an additional class ability. That's good to know. All right. So that's what the human stuff got me. I'm also going to use, there's a random name generator here. I'm going to go ahead and use that random name generator. Right, so it has, I'm going to do male just because I might as well have it match my own. And I got a 12 and a 13. 12, 13 would be Leothin. There we go, that's my character's name is Leothin. Leothin, the scribe turned paladin. All right. Next thing we can do, we're going to go ahead and scroll down through my PDF. So the backgrounds. Backgrounds, we had determined that he was originally a scribe, and that's going to provide a little bit. So scribes, you were a literate individual trained in the skill of writing and copying of books and manuscripts by hand. You gain the languages skill, but I have to choose one. I think background-wise, it makes sense for it to be dwarvish. Is there some place for me to write my languages? No, I don't see one. So I'm just going to go ahead and write dwarvish or dwarf there. What else? And I start with a quill and ink and book. So quill and ink. I guess I'll just put these stowed in my backpack. Quill and ink and a book also stowed in my backpack. All right, cool. Yeah, yeah. Right here you have your gear list, right, in various locations and such. All right, so that is good. Next thing I can do is scroll down a bit. Not a barbarian, not a bard, not a cleric, not a druid, not a fighter, but I am a knight. Okay, so what knight does? Okay, it says I get a health. Health is +4, so I'm not at 5 anymore. Now 9. Health is basically your hit points. Inspirations, 2 more, so I'm up to 6. Inspiration is what you burn to use certain abilities or to do magic. Defense +0 on that one. Okay, and I'm specifically a paladin, which means I was trained as a holy warrior with close ties to a god or religion. I gain melee combat, so that's now a D4. What else do I gain? Religion and politics, that's a D4. Uh, and strength as a skill, D4 there. Gain the Almighty Blow and Unholy Senses abilities. So Almighty Blow and Unholy Senses. I assume that's not my senses are unholy, but that I can sense things that are unholy. I start with Chainmail Armor, a long sword, and 100 SP. So 100 silver pieces. I assume that I'm going to wear my chainmail. So chainmail armor. And I have a long sword, which I'm going to have on my right. Beautiful. Okay, let's look about these knight abilities. So I get Almighty Blow, which tells me that melee attacks against undead or infernal creatures cause advantage to damage. Advantage is you reroll and use the higher. And then I also have Unholy Sense, which is an inspiration. So I need to mark yes, that it's an inspiration ability. And that tells me I can sense the presence of unholy, that is undead or infernal creatures within 3 zones. Now I also uh, get another ability from my class because I'm human. So I'm going to take a weapon specialization with my longsword. What that means is that I get to roll exploding damage. So if I roll the highest, then I get to keep rolling and add to it. Okay, and as far as I can tell, I think that that's basically it for character creation. So this is pretty straightforward. Now I could go through and I could spend my silver pieces, that kind of stuff. Although 100 silver pieces, I don't know whether the prices here. Oh no, the prices that are listed are actually all in silver pieces. I do want to mark down things like my damage. So like my long sword, for example, it does a D8 damage. Um, is there somewhere on the back for that? No, there's not. So I'll just mark down long sword. I'll just put D8 here next to it. The chainmail armor, what does that do? I feel like chainmail probably. Oh, okay, it adds to um. Okay, it adds to my defense, so I get a +4 on defense from armor. So I'm up to 12 defense then. Okay. All right. And looks like that is it from what I can tell. Like I naturally, like I said, I could go through and I could spend my money on stuff. But I don't know that I mean, when I'm looking at what I could buy for 100, yeah, I could buy stuff like I could buy a chicken. I could buy 10 chickens actually. Yeah, I don't know that it's really worth that. Um, yeah, so I could play around with that. But I think this is pretty simple character creation. So yeah, points to them for that. So I think like this is just kind of a little extra video in here. I think that I'll just kind of do these occasionally, um, looking at some of the elements of the system, right? So here, character creation, heroes of adventure, very, very simple process to go through. Um, yeah, yeah, and just so you know, I have been looking at the system a little bit, just like reading the books and so on, and it is set up specifically to allow for solo play. There are like solo oracles in it, very limited, so it's just kind of the yes/no oracle that those particular tables are in there. But it is designed to be kind of old school, so you get things like your reaction tables and the like are there. So those are options that are available. All right. So in any case, um, thank you for watching. For now, this is Prof E signing off.